So yeah, I'm getting choked, but it hurts, you know? And I'm like, right on. That's what we're shooting for here, you know? It's a little bit rougher, a little bit more aggressive style here. So we're gonna work a couple of chokes, and the real focus on this whole thing is, instead of using this part of my arm and this part of my arm for my choke, I really wanna be focusing on that sharp little blade, okay? Everything I do is wanna be on, I think you might have been here last time as we worked this stuff, so you get a refresher. Most of you, and you've been here, most of you this is new for. So we're gonna focus real hard on using this right on the carotid and the side of the neck, and it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt something fierce, okay? So we're gonna start it off from basically a duck under, arm triangle, and then we'll just move on from there and we'll show a handful of things. We'll get to the infamous dish rag. So, who wants to be choked today? I'm not gonna get you, you got it all last time.
Christian?
All right, I'll let you go the first time, but then after that, it's somebody else. Come on into my guard. Into my guard. So you're down, there we go. So we hit the duck under. We've all been here where we hit a duck under. Whether I'm laying down or sitting up, I'm sitting up so I can talk to you a little bit easier. But from right here, normally we're up here to try and finish off this arm triangle, right? We want to get as deep as we can. I got a bicep up there. I'll fall down and everything. I want to be right here. I want to be right down here on a collar tie. And now as I sit down and I hit a little bit of a shrimp, I've turned so that my forearm is right on the side of his neck, and then we lock it up. Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? It's awful.
I'm pretty sure he was faking it. Go ahead, do it again.
Get somebody else. Let's get a full size or two, okay? Come on.
Thanks, Christian.
All right, so again, we've hit the duck under. We've all been here. We've all done duck unders and we've been here. Or we can do arm drags. Either way, so we get to this point where I'm ducked under this guy, and now instead of trying to take his back, I'll do a little bit of that, but I'm going to fall back. I'm going to shrimp to right here. Everybody see that? I'm waving to the ceiling so I can lock this up. Is my forearm next to your carotid? It is. You hear him already, right? And now I'm going to squeeze everything. That's horrible, right? That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Is that worse than the other way? 100% worse. Okay?
Stop your crying.
So, a key to this thing. Let's do this one more time.
He's like, no.
All right, as I hit this and I come down, look where my elbow is. My elbow's not way out here. If my elbow's out here, it's not working. My elbow is right up against his chest and close to my hips. And then I lock that thing up, and then we squeeze, and it's horrible. Good? Yep. Good questions? Ready? Because the arm is in. So to get this thing, I'm going to shoot completely underneath the shoulder, underneath the body, hook the shoulder. So I went from wrist control, strike away at that. There we go. Shoot underneath the here. Okay? If you got shorter arms, you're really going to have to listen to his heartbeat, okay? Get all the way to here, and then tuck your right knee against his body. That brings him down onto the side. Lock it up a little bit. Look where my forearm is. Is it on your carotid? That sharp blade of the forearm is right there on the carotid. Do I have to just have the neck to do a rear naked? No, this is an arm triangle, modified rear naked, and finish it up.
Just one more time so I get the look on it.
And remember, when we do our rear naked, I'm not doing any of this. I'm not pushing down on his head. In fact, I need to demonstrate this. Have a seat. Have a seat. All right, before we go any further, I do a rear naked. Most times, we start locking it up. I get the rear naked grip, and they put a palm on the back of the head, right? We're always thinking, push that head down, good, right? I don't want to do that, okay? I want to pull, turn around, look at me, just see for a second. I want to pull everything back, okay? I don't want my palm facing his head. I want my palms facing me, and I want to pull everything back, all right? And look what happened to my arm. It gets real small triangle inside of there. So now I have a seat. So now, instead of this, which is tight, I want palm facing me, pull everything. Oh, there's different, right? That was different, right? Okay, to see how different this is, watch this. Tuck your chin. Get your fingers in here so you can counter this thing. All right, here's the regular grip, all right? You counter. Don't let me choke you out. I'm wearing myself out. Now my way. You counter. You still got that in there. Don't let me choke you out. You ready? Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, we tapped out a lot quick, right?
Yeah.
Is that different?
Yeah, that hurt a little bit.
Yeah, right. So not only does it choke you, it's also, it hurts, right? What did we say earlier? Coach, not as everything it works, but it hurts. Okay, so squeeze that thing. So now when I do this modified rear naked, I get that grip, squeeze everything, okay? Questions? Ready? Is that a guy shoots all the way through from front headlock, gets his hand over on this side, locks up, it looks like a rear naked, and then he rolls completely through and runs to the hips. So I'm going to demonstrate that to you, okay? So normally they get here, they roll through, and then they start running to the hips and running to the hips and running to the hips, right? And trying to catch those things. And it gets tight and it chokes, okay? But now nobody, let's turn this way a little bit so you can all see. Nobody wants to get rolled through, right? Because they know if they get rolled through, they get choked. So they all want to stop you from rolling through. And they almost always post out this leg, and they're like, there's no way he's letting me roll, right? And I'm like, thank you so much, because I don't want to roll. I work my same grip, and now when I go, I'm going to slide that whole assembly around him to put my blade of my forearm right there on his neck, okay? So I'm right here, I got everything locked up, bang, got it right here. Is that blade on your carotid?
Yeah.
Yep, it is. And now from right here, I'm gonna squeeze. And you heard that, right? Did everybody hear that desperate kind of tap? Yeah. Was that tight? That's tight, okay? I'm not trying to roll through, and I'm not trying to run to his hips. I'm trying to put the blade of my forearm onto his neck. One more time. All right, so we got our front headlock, we got the anaconda grip. Oh, I roll, I get stopped part way, no sweat, we're gonna sit there and squeeze. And he was doing well at trying to even control and trying to get a little bit of counter work in there, right? And I'm still able to squeeze this thing. We put that blade to the forearm and we make this thing hurt. Ready? All right, and I do the exact same thing with darce chokes. So very, very often, guys are sitting there with their darces, come on down, and we're gonna roll this thing from, I don't care, side. So we're in side mount right here, and regularly get a darce. We come around the arm, underneath. Now look where I am when I do a darce, right? Oftentimes, this guy who's getting darce choked thinks like he needs to run and catch my legs and hook them and stuff like that, and guys try to move away to finish that up and stuff. I don't even care about my legs. All I care about is putting that doggone forearm up against his neck and then sitting on it. So I get my darce choke. Am I there? Is my forearm on his neck? Everybody can see that, right? So now to squeeze this thing nice and tight, most guys think to counter it, he needs to hook my legs, right? I'll give him my legs. I don't care. I'll go like this. Oh, there was some desperate tap right there too, right? That was terrible. It's terrible. What I'm doing is I get it locked up, I come down on it, oh look what happens, look how tight this all gets, right? And then squeeze that thing with the blade of the forearm right on the neck. Do you want somebody else to experience this joy? Yeah, I do. Who do you nominate? You.
Sharing the love.
All right, so again, we're inside, that thing comes underneath, I lock it up, right? Now I'm gonna make sure my blade of my forearm is up against him, and I'm gonna sit right down to his legs. Where normally he thinks, hey, I got some good counter work, I'm gonna hook up his legs and stuff. I get right down here and squeeze that thing. It took me a second to let go. You okay? Yeah. Okay. Everything was stuck real tight. I felt him tapping, and I was still stuck there. So that happens, right?
Just go to sleep. That's all.
Just go to sleep.
You got like a couple minutes, so it's not a big deal.
Are there any questions? Ready? All right. Yeah, come on up. Okay, so if I've got a good gable grip in here, right, and he sits the other way, see what I'm saying? Yeah. He sits that way. It sits
no, I didn't see that at all.
I keep it all tight and hip in, and it's a modified guillotine. Oh. Okay, so he puts himself right into that if he goes the other way. So the common way is to sit through like this to get guard, right? And what do we not do now? We're not going to sit there for guard, right? We're going to sit back. So if he has a front headlock on me, right, I'm going to be blocking hip and sitting back. You see how I sat back? I put my back right on the mat. I don't care. I'm sitting back and getting feet in between us and starting to up kick and create space. Okay? But I don't sit through. I sit back. Big, big difference. Okay? All right. Coach Wright asked me also to show some modified Kimura stuff. We got time for that?
Yep.
Okay, so modified Kimura. First of all, who's got a good... I'm going to have you do it on this shoulder. All right, so he goes for Kimura. I've done the cardinal sitting there, I put my hand on the mat and he goes for Kimura. I tuck that thing in and I block his hips. Okay? Everybody see how my right foot, my right knee came up here to block his hips. Where's all the power in grappling?
Hips.
All the power is the hips. He's got to get those things out to that side in order to finish his Kimura. So I got this tucked into my belly, I block his hips, I block his hips again, and then I posture up. Yep, there it is. That's what we're looking for. Okay? There's a tap right there by him hanging onto Kimura. Okay? So I don't want to stay there. First, I'm going to let you all try that tap real quick, and we'll show you why we do why I counter the Kimura the way that I do. Why I counter this counter. Good? Okay, so we want to see the counter one more time? Yes. All right, counter Kimura. As he starts going Kimura, boom, I first trap that hip, right? And if I feel like, there we go, I felt like his knee was a little bit low that time and I didn't have it trapped. Are you pretty well trapped this time?
Yep. Okay.
I've got all my weight down here. Those hips are locked in place, okay? Now I'm going to come up here to the hips. I'm going to posture up, and I keep my arm tight. I'm flexing my arm to keep him trapped here, okay? If I just posture up, it's nothing. But if I keep it all tight, I can get a tap right there. Any questions? Okay, so remember, tuck in, block hips, good posture. I get good balance here, good posture. Onto his hip. Try and tear his arms off. Any questions? Ready? Anybody ever fished for crab out here? I don't mean by putting out trash, but you know, in eastern North Carolina, they got this thing. People throw out a chicken bone with some chicken on it on a piece of string, right? And what happens? The crab grabs this thing, and that stupid crab will hang on to that thing all the way in until you just scoop him up with a net. He's like, I'm not letting go of this. That's like me with a Kimura, right? I grab that Kimura, he gets it tucked in, he's got my hips stuffed and they can't go anywhere, but I'm like, I'm not letting go of this thing. All the way to a disaster, right? That's no good. Okay, so I don't want to sit there and hang on to that Kimura if it gets stuffed, right? If I lose that Kimura, he stopped my hips, he started to get that hand underneath his hip and I can't Kimura him. Well, I'm going to move on to something else. I'm going to move on to a modified Kimura. Come on in. All right, so we're inside a Kimura. I get the Kimura, and as he starts to stuff this thing underneath his hips, I realize I'm losing this thing, and I don't want to wrestle like that stupid crab, right? So my hand is holding his wrist right here. It lets loose and rotates around. Just that. Rotates around. Okay? And as it rotates around, I call threading the needle. I pull the thread all the way through, hug my arm, hug his arm. Okay? Can you stuff my hips so they ain't moving now? Not because of where we moved, you can't. Okay, so those hips come to where they're supposed to go with a shrimp, and we squeeze everything nice and tight, and Kimura. It's already there. So one more time, and then I'll let you see it. I grab Kimura, he tucks. I say, oh no, I don't want that. I relax that hand and rotate it around, thread the needle. Hug everything. Kick to shrimp, and finish it up. Come on in so you can see. All right, so I got Kimura. He tucks that thing. I say, nope, I'm no fool. I rotate it around, pull it through. Hug. If that thing comes loose, go to it. Don't let that thing get away, all right? His arm started coming loose and going up this way. Go to that thing. Hug this thing. Keep it bent because a Kimura is a what? Bent arm lock. It's a bent arm. A Kimura is a what? Bent arm lock. So I keep that thing bent. I hug this whole thing. Use my legs to scissor and strip. And here we are for the finish. Any questions? Ready? Now, we're going to do it from single leg, and then I'm going to walk you through the whole sequence, and the sequence is the exact same from where you were just working. Okay? Can we use Nate? So come on in, he's on a single leg, and let's turn around to the other side. There we go. All right, so if he's on a single leg, first of all, I want to pop his head. And the way I pop his head, because I want his head on the outside. All right, and I know that he's worried about chokes and stuff like that, but I'm also worried about takedowns or anything. I don't want to sit here for a long time. I pop it by driving the hip into his shoulder, okay? And pop, there we go, got it. So now, slide a little bit so you can see. So now I'm on the underhook. right? He's hanging on tight to that leg. That's kind of a lifeline to him, right? And now I'm gonna windshield wiper my foot and sit to here. And look what's here. Everybody see it? To finish this up, I'm gonna squeeze my knees together and I'm gonna stand up and try to pull it off his body. Okay? If there's a gigantic strength mismatch, this will be hard. If you're anywhere even close, this will not be hard. So again, squeeze the knees, that's key. If I just try and pull, no big deal. If I squeeze the knees and now I stand up straight, big deal. Okay? Any questions? All right, so one more time right now, start with the head on the outside. We get here sometimes. Very often we get here from, pause for a second, from out here, and the guy says, I'm desperate, I'm getting hit, and he grabs a leg. Okay? He grabs that leg, got it. Cool? Squeeze the knees. So just start with him right in front. Head on the outside. I understand that a lot of guys don't do this, but we've just shown reality of why we might be here, okay? So just start with that head on the outside, hit the underhook, windshield wiper, and step to the hips. Lock it up. Questions? Ready? Okay. So he's been working on this thing. I start to go for this, but he straightens out that arm. So there's no longer a bent arm lock, okay? When he straightens that thing out, I'm gonna step through to hip, to triangle. Okay? And if he raises up, to armbar. All right? So let's flow through that. We'll give our partner all of the drills. So you come on down now. I'm sitting here on a single leg. Nate underhooks me. There we go. He says to work this thing, but I was smart. I knew that I was in danger. So I got that arm out of danger, but oh no, now I'm in more danger. I try to posture up. Oh, look at that. Right? So I stopped the bent arm lock. I saw the triangle, I stopped that, and he continued to follow through because we know the posture will stop a triangle, right? Let's start posturing, then he hits the arm bar. Good? Sure. All right, walk through the series. Ready?